From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. You need the Kubota construction lineup. Right now, write it off a lot and write it off your taxes for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $4,000.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.
Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Kruger. It is Monday, November 18th. Let's get you through Kruger's Quickcast for those of you that are in a hurry and just want to know what to expect here for today. But before we get into that, a little teaser as we go into the deeper dive forecast. Here's what I'm tracking for this week. We've got the flood potential along with mudslides and debris flows. We've got low snow levels leading to mountain, basically chain requirements on some of those higher mountain passes, even some of the lower mountain passes too. Gusty winds potentially leading to power outages and very cold overnight lows. So there's really a lot to track, from heavy rainfall to heavy snow to gusty winds, the works. And it's going to be going off and on here throughout the week. Just different elements for pretty much every day, right? So let's get you out the door this morning. We could see some isolated thunderstorms for the north coast. Otherwise, those showers, rain and some snow flurries out in Trinity County. Not a whole lot going on in Siskiyou County, Modoc, or the eastern mountains. In the valley, cold, but still looking at those fairly dry conditions. Some of the chain requirements we are seeing this morning, mainly east of I-5. No big surprises there. That's the case also as you head down into Tahoe. No chain requirements on I-5 or west of I-5, but that may change here later on this week. Of course, we'll get into that a little bit later. There you can see some of the road conditions right now. Hatchet Mountain looks okay, so is the Four Corners, but out at Cedar Pass looks pretty icy up there, and that's why we got those chain requirements on Cedar Pass. So you can see the cold and unstable air that's moving in. You see the speckled clouds? That's what's going to be moving in here for today, giving us the isolated showers, snow flurries in the higher elevations, but even the valley may even see a little bit of activity here. Let's take you through the morning. You see how most of it this morning is really kind of western Siskiyou County westward into Trinity County. But then as we go into the afternoon, we may see a light shower make its way into parts of the northern end of the valley, that is. Places like around Corning northward, but Chico, Willows, Orville, most likely dry today. But there you can see more of those snow flurries off in the higher elevations. And eventually this afternoon, even the eastern mountains getting in on some of that as well. So that's what we, of course, have for today. Snow levels between 2,500, 3,500 feet for today, only reaching somewhere in the mid-50s for the valley, 20s and 30s for those daytime highs in the mountains. It's going to be cold there, and there's that chance for showers and possible thunderstorms, not only this morning, but maybe even this afternoon here for the coast, Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, possibly seeing that as well. Quick look at your 7-day outlook, and we're going to really iron this out and look at this more detail here, because it is going to be an active week. We're talking rain, we're talking snow, we're talking wind. There are things that everyone needs to pay attention to this week, because this storm is going to impact us all in different shapes and forms, right? As far as the snow in the mountains, the heavy rainfall at times as well. All right, so that's your quick cast. Let's get you into the headlines here and talk about the deeper dive forecast here. We've got an active weather pattern this week. That's what I've been kind of mentioning here. Cold overnight and morning temperatures. Source of the rain and snow is coming from an atmospheric river. Now again, I don't want to over alarm you, because atmospheric river unfortunately has been seized by a lot of the local media organizations and just national media in general, taking that word atmospheric river and making it seem like it's Armageddon when it happens. Not necessarily the case. Of course, we'll get into that a little bit later. Snow levels are going up and down this week. Now, they're going to stay fairly low to start off the week. They'll go up later this week, then back down for the second half of the weekend and into early next week. All right, so here's the big picture again. You saw the speckled clouds here. That's the colder air that's moving in. That colder air is pretty much going to remain in place here for the next couple of days, but that may change as that atmospheric river kind of aims at Northern California. All right, so let's walk you through the timing. Now, what you'll notice here, I've got snow levels averaging out between 2,500, 3,500 feet, basically for today through Wednesday. So some areas lower than others. Typically, we see the lower snow levels here. They tend to increase a little bit for Modoc County and then increase even more out towards Alaskan County, southward into the Sierra. All right, so we take you into about 10 o'clock this morning, central, western Siskiyou County, northern Trinity County westward, seeing the best potential for some of those snow flurries and, of course, rain and possibly some thunderstorms for the north coast. By around midday and early afternoon, we're seeing the potential for some of those showers making their way into parts of the valley as well, especially, say, Corning northward, south of Corning, most likely dry throughout the day today. And then you can kind of see it pushes eastward. We're dry. This clear skies, fairly calm winds is going to make for a very cold night tonight. But there, of course, you can see we do have what we're looking at here is more snow flurries in the higher elevations. And now let's take you into your Tuesday morning. There you can see the showers, more snow off to the north and west, not much going on for the rest of us. Now what we're seeing here, this is that atmospheric river. This is going to be kind of pushing eastward here as we go into Tuesday night, and Wednesday is when we start to kind of see it push through. So showers beginning to develop late in the day for the valley, snow flurries beginning to develop, especially to the eastern mountains, and then that rain will get a little bit more, it will intensify more through the morning and afternoon for the north coast. Here's Tuesday night. Again, we can kind of clearly see that atmospheric river here, but we're starting to see some of that heavier rainfall for the north end of the valley, some of that heavy snow in the mountains, and very heavy rainfall. Not to mention the gusty winds that will be associated with this as well. Here's that atmospheric river right here, pointed right at the valley. We've got that snow in the mountains here. We've got that rain in the valley. Now, we're not seeing as much. The valley is being what's called shadowed because of the mountains to the west of the valley. We tend to see a little less rainfall as you start going into the valley. And we're actually starting to see the rain begin to taper off as early as Wednesday morning. But you see how that atmospheric river starts to shift southward a little bit more. Still some heavy rainfall and snow for some. Now, what you'll notice here, did you see that last couple of frames? It's doing this. What's going to happen is this is actually going to retreat and then move back up northward again. So it looks like it's heading southward, but then it kind of comes back up northward. And that's because the trough of low pressure itself is deepening, and that tends to take this and move it back up, with aiming that atmospheric river back to most of us over Northern California by Wednesday night into Thursday. Rainfall estimates, we just kind of take this all with a grain of salt, but looks pretty good here as we go into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. We're seeing anywhere from about 2 to 2.5 inches of rain for the north coast. A bit less than, although you can still see over an inch, close to 2 inches out towards places like Redding, and then as we typically see, less rainfall, of course, rainfall equivalency. All right, so I just wanted to show you this here because this is a winter storm warning. We've also got the winter storm watch here. These won't take effect until tomorrow and of course the next couple of days after that, but just be aware that we've got some snow in the higher elevations. So how much snow can we expect? Well, what we're seeing here through 5 p.m., it's not out of the question for Dunsmuir to see some snowflakes. Maybe not that much snow. If we see any snow accumulation, it would be in Mount Shasta City. But there you can see not a lot of snow making its way into places like Alta. This is only through Tuesday, by the way, because as we take you into Wednesday, now we're starting to see it really ramp up. Again, overdoing it for Dunsmuir. It might be overdoing it for Mount Shasta City, but we are seeing more snow there. This is when we start running into problems, possibly on I-5 as we go into especially Tuesday night into Wednesday. But there you see some of the accumulating snow that we're seeing out towards Chester. I mean, are we going to see 2 feet of snow? We'll kind of have to wait and see. But you get the idea. The models are picking up on a lot of that moisture, and that moisture will be in the form of snow for the higher elevations. And this is, I think, is going to put a smile on a lot of people's faces. As you can see here, you're getting in the whites here for the ski park. I mean, you're talking several feet of snow. This is, we've already got a good base out there right now. And as we go through this week, we are going to be looking at a lot more snow over the ski park. And again, that is just great news. All right, so there you can see the chain requirements we have out there this morning. I tell you right now, as we go into the next few days, we're going to start to see more chain requirements on I-5. And we're going to have to even watch places like Buckhorn Summit, Oregon Mountain here as we go into the middle of the week as well, because of that colder air moving in and all that moisture moving in with that atmospheric river. All right, so there you can see Scott Mountain. There's Bogard Ranger Station. This is what it looks like this morning. The conditions will most likely improve as we go through the afternoon, but then as we go into this evening and into tomorrow morning, I mean, look at some of the heavier snow out towards Cedar Pass, for example, but more snow and more chain requirements most likely, especially east of I-5. A lot of the places that have them now we'll probably see them again here for tomorrow morning. The wind's not a problem today, and I don't expect them to be a very big problem for your Tuesday either, although they'll start to pick up here for central Siskiyou County along the coast Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, they're beginning to ramp up here for the valley as well, and then we really start to see those winds pick up Tuesday night. Then we go into Wednesday, some gusty winds there. And it looks like even as we go into Thursday, some pretty gusty winds as well. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. But again, we took a look at the timing of the next few days. There's that approaching storm system. There you can clearly see that moisture. This is the source of moisture is an atmospheric river. So there's plenty of moisture streaming into Northern California, otherwise known as a Pineapple Express. People say, like taking a hose and aiming it right at Northern California, coconut connection, whatever you want to call it. It's a good moisture source coming in from the south and west is what we're looking at here. Now, again, remember I was talking about, see, as this digs southward, we start to see this do this again. So it was showing signs Wednesday of shifting southward, but now it's coming back. And the reason for that, as we see that, what happens is this low pressure is here. As you start to do this, then you start to see this tilt back up northward. So that's going to start to come in on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, you still have that really aimed at us, and then it shifts southward. But we still have these disturbances rotating around the area of low pressure. No longer atmospheric river rain coming in Saturday, Sunday, but still some light showers and snow flurries in the higher elevations, and that'll probably continue into early next week as well. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about this atmospheric river, Pineapple Express, whatever you want to call it. You see this right here? It's an atmospheric river is a thin, basically a thin line here of moisture coming in. A lot of times coming in from the subtropics and the tropics here. So you can see all of this coming in. Now, sometimes it's called the Pineapple Express, but notice it's not coming from Hawaii. It's coming from more of these mid-latitudes here. So a lot of moisture coming in. And this typically isn't as warm. So we've got the colder air in place, and that's why we do expect to see some fairly low snow levels. So you can see here that atmospheric river through Thursday, you see how it kind of tilts in this direction because this area of low pressure is shifting southward. This tilts back up towards Northern California. That's for Wednesday and Thursday. Then we go into Friday. Now it's shifting southward and focusing more on Southern California, a much weaker atmospheric river here. And by the way, I had mentioned in my Facebook post yesterday that there are different categories of atmospheric rivers as far as the strength. This atmospheric river force is expected to be in the moderate to high category, but keep in mind it can go to extreme and even above that. So it's kind of in that mid-range here to slightly above that mid-range as far as the overall strength of the atmospheric river. But again, you can see by Saturday it shifts to the south and we no longer have atmospheric river moisture moving in come Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but we still have chances for rain. So we look at the forecast rainfall totals, a lot of discrepancies in the long-range models, and it might be overdoing it as we take you all the way through Friday. There you can see into actually Saturday. You can see, I mean, it's showing upwards of around 5 to even 9 inches of rain for the valley. In fact, that would be even more than the coast. I don't think that's going to be quite that high. But just to kind of give you an idea what the models are picking up on. This one's probably a little bit closer to reality here, 5 to 7 inches. There you can see about 10 inches along the coast here for places like Hoopa. And then, of course, we see much less rainfall or rainfall equivalency into where when you melt that snow down, about 2 to 3 inches up there. But you get the idea. When we take a look at the next 7 to 8 days, you got a lot of rainfall. And the Climate Prediction Center is putting us in that wetter than normal category. So the 10-day trend with those temperatures, I mean, it's just going to be downright cold out there, even for the valley, not even getting up to 60 degrees in most cases. So as we move forward, today's not the day of concern, but as we move forward, we've got a flood watch for Tuesday night through Thursday morning, potential for mudslides, debris flows, rises in creeks and streams, localized flooding. We may see a lot of these flood alerts kind of shift eastward as well in other areas. Here's the the freeze warning for tonight through tomorrow morning for the valley and the surrounding foothills. Temperatures between 30 and 35 degrees. The wind alerts, We've got a high wind warning right here for the coast. We've got a high wind watch for central Siskiyou County and into Modoc County. We're going to be looking at high winds elsewhere. We may see more of these wind advisories and alerts and warnings making their way to other parts of Northern California. But you get the idea. We could see gusts, especially over some of those higher elevations, between 50 and even upwards of 70 miles per hour. So again, there's a lot to monitor and track here as we go into the next few days. So keep it right here to Weather NorCal, and we'll certainly keep you informed here as this storm moves closer. There you can see the wave heights are actually getting a little high out there, but I do expect them to try to retreat. But then you can see a lot of these reds out here indicating we're probably going to see those wave heights come back up again Tuesday afternoon and into Wednesday. So west winds at about 5 to 10 knots, waves from the northwest at 14 feet at about 13 seconds. And there you can see that small correct advisory here for today. All right, let's take a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Upper 40s, basically mostly in the mid to upper 40s for those daytime highs. Mad River a little bit chillier at 38, 43 for Ruth. Off and on rain. Snow levels for Trinity County are going to average out 2,500 feet, give or take. They go up, then back down. And that's going to be the trend for all of the mountains. We're going to go back up sometime around late in the day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they start to drop again as we go into the second half of the weekend. Temperatures today for the North Coast are going to be in the 40s and 50s. Showers, possible thunderstorms here throughout the morning and afternoon, and those winds really begin to pick up, especially by Tuesday night and into Wednesday. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures, snow levels 2,500 feet, 35, 5,000, 5,000, back down to 2,500 feet by Sunday. So they're going to stay pretty level in the next few days, go up towards the end of the week, and then by the end of the weekend, they go back down again. 35 for high today in Aden, 36 degrees for Alturas. For the eastern mountains, we're talking 38 degrees there for Fall River Mills, 41 in Shingletown, and 43 degrees in Doyle. Let's take a look at your valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Those temperatures mid-50s. Mid to upper 50s for your daytime highs. I don't expect any rainfall for Corning southward. There may be some showers later this afternoon for Redding down to Red Bluff, but shouldn't be all that heavy and won't last for very long. Late in the day on Tuesday, more showers coming in. Rain and wind for your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. More of those showers kicking in here, and then that'll be the case here as we take you through the weekend as well. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Again, isolated showers. I don't expect any thunderstorms today. Late in the day, Tuesday, a chance for more showers, and then Wednesday, rain and wind. More rain for Thursday and Friday, and then more scattered showers. No longer associated with an atmospheric river, by the way, by the time we do get into Saturday and Sunday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again this afternoon with the latest.